This is a letter I received on February 4th, 1965. Elder John Cunningham and I in the mission field had the opportunity of teaching Bill and Evelyn Wilson, who lived at 3L Island Road, Busby, Renfrewshire, Scotland. We baptized Bill and Evelyn. Bill, I think, was 40 years old. His wife was probably a year or two younger than that, and their two daughters. And when I got transferred, I wrote a letter to the Wilsons and said, how about you writing my parents a letter? I'd like to have them be aware of the kind of people that we're baptizing and just what good people you are. So here's the letter that Sister Wilson wrote to my mother and father.
February 4th, 1965, Bill and Evelyn Wilson, Busby, Renfrewshire, Scotland. Dear Mr. and Mrs. Sampson, I had a letter from Dennis this morning, and he asked if I would like to write to you, so here I am. Dennis said he has told you all about us, so I hope you know how much your son and his companion have come to mean to us. Firstly, in having brought us into this wonderful church and teaching us the true gospel, we have both found what we have been looking for. I expect Dennis had told you that my husband, Bill, was a very staunch member of the Church of Scotland. He did a lot of work in the church and was a captain of the Boys' Brigade. When Dennis and John Cunningham started coming to us, we were both just casually interested in what they had to say, but as time went on, we just couldn't get enough. Dennis said many a night he went back to his digs with a sore throat after talking so much. Eventually, Dennis and John baptized us on the 5th of March, and we both hope to do our best in the church and be really good Latter-day Saints. We just love both of our elders, and they will always have a very special place in our lives and our hearts. Our two young daughters, Carol is almost 10 and Lorna is almost 9, were talking, and Carol said she was going to get engaged to Elder Sampson, and Lorna said, I wanted to get engaged to him, but it's okay, I'll have Elder Cunningham instead. So you can see they are very popular boys with a whole family. Our only regret at the moment is that our son Alan, 16 and a half, is not a member of the church, but we hope and pray that eventually he will be, and we will do our best by example and prayer to bring him into the church. Our youngest son is only 1.5, and if God spares him until he is 8, he will join the church as well. We have a very happy branch at Thornley Bank, but President Sampson is missed by all, not just us. We do see him at Paisley sometimes, but it is nice to hear the knock of the door at any old time during the day or evening and know that it was the two of them. Still, other people will be hearing the gospel from them, and I will benefit from it, I know. We hope to see him on Sunday night and Monday if I can arrange for a babysitter. We are going to a track meet between BYU and Glasgow University, and we should see him there as well. Well now, I hope you folks are keeping alright, and Blair and Valin, I hope I've spelt your daughter's name right. Dennis was always telling some story or other about his life and home, and naturally your names always come into things. He misses both his mom and dad, and one night here he said, I'd like to be back home doing something with my dad. He didn't care what it was he and his dad were doing as long as it was together. I guess he was just a bit homesick that night, but we soon had him laughing again. We will miss his friend Elder Ferris, as they were great pals, and Elder Ferris is a fine lad as well. All you moms and dads are really proud of your sons who are here on their missions, I'm sure. They are all wonderful boys, every one of them. Although, as I've said already, we consider Dennis and John special. Well now, I think I've rambled on enough for my first letter to you. I sincerely hope you will manage to write to us, Mr. and Mrs. Sampson, as we would love to hear from you about your family. You must have shown Dennis a wonderful example at home to make him the fine, upstanding boy that he is. Our best wishes to both you and your son and daughter. May God bless you all, Evelyn and Bill Wilson. In which temple did you guys get married, and why did you pick that temple?
Well, back in our day, there weren't that many temples around. And besides that, we were living in Salt Lake City, I was. And so that was my temple district. We were married in the Salt Lake Temple on September 16th, 1966 by Apostle LeGrand Richards. And Elder Richards had set me apart for my mission. And I've told this story on some other videos that we've done. But it was a red letter day and a very nice experience for us. And Elder Richards gave us his full time and attention. He wasn't in a hurry to get in and get out. He came to the temple. He showed up on time, and we were married in sealing room number 1, as I remember, which is a small sealing room. And he said he had been married in that same room, I believe, 56 years before that. So the Salt Lake Temple, the why we picked that temple is it was handy. The following is a letter that I wrote to Brother Paul Heffron. Paul was a 62-year-old fellow that joined the church while we were in the mission field, and was an amazing guy. Dear Paul, as Don Meredith used to sing at the close of every National Football League game, turn out the lights, the party's over. They say that all good things must end. For us, it has been a great ride. We are now officially in the home stretch of our mission with just 1 day left. It's amazing how quickly 18 months goes by. We have totally enjoyed our mission here in the Washington, D.C. South Mission, and specifically are grateful to have been assigned to serve in the Mount Vernon, Virginia stake. As you know, our mission encompasses 6 stakes, and Mount Vernon is by far the most successful in missionary efforts. In the 18 months we have been serving in this stake has had better than 150 baptisms, and we have attended most of them. What a treat it has been to meet with new converts. Many of these folks have moved from our area, and a few have even fallen away from the church. There is a lot of pressure on many of these people just trying to survive. Staying true to the faith is a challenge for some. Nevertheless, the church is still true, and the word goes forward. Carolyn and I want to say thanks to you for your friendship and example. It is fun to watch people join the church and grow in the gospel. You brought a lot to the table and have been a blessing to many individuals in our ward and to people like the Sampsons who were watching from afar. I was impressed when you told me you were going back to 1972 and listening to General Conference. That motivated me to do the same. When I was a teenager, Sterling W. Seal was one of my favorites. To me, he was like poetry in motion. He had some great stories to tell and an interesting way to tell them. When I went on my mission in 1963, I was set apart by Apostle LeGrand Richards. A few years later, he performed our marriage and sealing in the Salt Lake Temple. It is fun to go back and listen to his rapid-fire approach to teaching the gospel. Thanks for your friendship, Paul, and may the Lord's choicest blessings continue to be with you. With love and great admiration, Dennis and Carolyn Sampson, your favorite senior couple missionaries.
Where were you when you received your mission call, and what was that day like?
When I had my interview with my bishop, then I found out I had to go have an interview with the stake president. I did not know that that's the way it worked. And after the interview with the stake president, he said, I will send these papers in tomorrow, and it'll probably take about 10 days before you get your call. My problem was I couldn't wait 10 days, so about the 4th or 5th day, I started calling down there to the church office building, and the lady said, it's not ready yet, it's not ready. Was a little bit irritated with me, but then finally on about the 10th day, I called down there, and she said, it's ready. And back in my day, you could go down to the church office building and pick up your call, save a day or two in the mail. So my good friend Merlin Madsen and I, we jumped in my car, went down to the church office building, and I was told that if you got one letter, it meant you're going in the States. If you got two, it meant you're going overseas. The secretary handed me 2 envelopes. My heart started to pound. Because I had requested Scotland, not realizing that there was even a possibility that would happen, I opened up the letter. I started to, and the secretary said, that's your travel. It's in the other one. So I opened up the other letter, and it said, Dear Elder Sampson, congratulations on your mission call, or you've been called to the Scottish mission, English speaking. And I thought, well, gee, how hard can this be? I requested Scotland and I get Scotland. So because my folks weren't particularly active in the church, and I pretty much did all this on my own power, I didn't really have encouragement from my parents to go. So I did all this on my own, went and had my interview with my bishop and what have you. So I wasn't really taught that I ought to go home and share this with my parents. So Merlin and I luckily had our golf clubs in the back of my car. So to celebrate, we went up to Mountain Dell and played a round of golf. Then I went home and popped the news to my folks and my family. If I had been a normal kid, and I wasn't, but if I'd been normal, I would have waited until Dad got home from work, invited a few friends over, maybe my bishop over, and then opened it up. But I didn't do that. So we celebrated by going to Mountain Dell Golf Course up Parley's Canyon, and I received my call and opened it in a church office building.